I don't. People in this lifetime have never experienced like a new era like this.
Yeah, you know what I noticed too? I noticed that people can't even fit in with each other. Like you go to public, everybody's all alone, like a scattered rats. It's like people don't even know how to be like human or just. It's just weird now. Like people will be together, then they'll just go their own way. I remember people used to be all gathered up together, but now it's like everybody just goes in their own little way. Like it's just isolated now. Like it's not even like people lost their element. Yeah, we're trying to like
Because I think we were in the age of Pisces for so long, like just that timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So even through all them years, things were changing and all that, but it was still the same because we were in the same age, like the same age of Pisces through all of them years. And we just entered a whole new paradigm with the age of Aquarius and just how everything shifted 2020 and just all of that, all the stuff that transpired just took a toll on people. So now it's just people recovering. Not only recovering from the stuff in 2020, like the mask and the needles and all that. I'm not going to go too far into it, but it was just a lot that people had to go through during that. It was just a pivotal time. And people try to downplay it so much. This is why I bring it up and I speak on like 2020 a lot because people try to downplay it and act like it was nothing. But it's like that was a pivotal time. That was like a life changing, like historic time. But people just so quick to like be oblivious about it and try to just sweep it under the rug. But you're seeing the effects of this stuff, like the effects of quarantine and social distancing, like all of that shit was like it was like a crisis. But it's just like a smoke screen to people. People don't want to address how everything changed like that. Like we went through one of the most tragic historic times in this time period. But people's walking around like nothing's going on, so it's making it more apparent that something is off. And people just don't even want to discuss certain topics like this. So we're just gonna. It's like when you sweep something under the rug for so long, it only makes it worse. So that's what you're basically witnessing, because people are just trying to keep moving along same system like nothing's going on. Like a lot of things need to be addressed. People need to be coming together. It's like this is not the time for people to be all just like how you mentioned before, how you see people and they're just so they're so distant from each other now, and just how it is. Like now more than ever, we need to be coming together and speaking on like topics like this, but people don't want to. It's like people just want to avoid it. People just want to go on like nothing just happened. Like it's going to be apparent that something's off. You can't just go through all of that, all of those pivotal moments. It's like they opened the world back up and everybody just act oblivious. Like, okay, we're just back in the world, back to work. Like, but you can't just do that. You can't just create a whole historic, tragic moment that's going like people really try to downplay 2020. Like that year is gonna be remembered in history books. Like that was historic. You're facing tragedy. Like, bro, people just want to walk around like nothing happened. Okay,
Oh
open the world
yeah,
back up, go to work. Like, bro, you can't just do that.
that's what
That's
I'm
like
saying.
somebody.
Like,
That's like somebody. Yeah, and that's what I meant. Like how you said why people are the way they are now. Like how they're still trying to just hang on and like act like nothing's going on. Is that's what it is. It's like because that's how this system made it. Like okay, open the world back up, boom, right back to regular scheduled programming. Like, bro, you can't just do that.
Like what?
All the stuff we just went through, and it's like people want to act like nothing's going on. Okay, back to the open world. This like, bro, nothing
Yeah.
is the same, bro. You can't just do that. And then it's like people don't want to address this stuff when we speak on it. They don't want to listen. Like it goes through one ear and out the other. They want to avoid it. Like, nah, bro, we gotta address this stuff. We gotta talk about it. We can't just act like nothing happened.
Mm-hmm. Like
You
everything
need
was
to heal from this. We need like a planetary meditation. We need something like a healing session of just global meditation. We need something like, bro, you can't just move on from stuff like that.
yeah, that's gonna like
There's just so
mess with the
much
energy.
trauma. It's just like that's what's basically taking place right now.
Oh yeah, like people just want to just overlook it. Oh, I'm gonna just go back. You know, they open the world up. We're just gonna go back to how life is. Life is not what it is anymore. It's not normal. Like normal does not exist anymore. Like normal was like way before that thing happened. Like we can't just go back and people overlook it. Like that's why the energy's so weird with people because they're trying to hide something because they are like, and they don't. Of course, people don't want to look a certain way, so they're gonna kind of like keep their distance or they're gonna keep it short because they can't just show you what it really is. Like you can't just do that. Like people gotta heal. Like this system was showing you what it was really about. Everything was coming on forefront, like what it was doing, like the the rigged election, the human trafficking, like all that was being heard. Like you probably heard a lot of that like on YouTube or TikTok, or I heard a lot of that going on and people just gonna overlook it. Like I heard a lot of that was going on back then. It's like people are just overlooking like the bad things and just the reality and the deaths. It's like even with Kobe died in January, like you just gonna forget about that? Like, nah, bro, this ain't normal. Like, who would even thought about that? Like, people do like die, but not out of randomly. Like, it's not so like just in a way where it's like kind of like randomized, but it's perfect though. Like, it's like people just gonna forget about that. Like, especially the
And
beginning of 2020. Like,
yeah, for like those tragic things, for certain people, like they're avoiding it, like human traffic and all that stuff that was exposed, all that stuff coming to the forefront, the system being exposed, these higher reps being exposed. People just like I said, it was like a smoke screen that happened, and people just forgot about it. Try to just act oblivious to it, but for certain people, that stuff is still like affecting them because it's like I said, these rabbit holes. Like you found out about like I said, it's always like a nuance.
mm-hmm.
Like for certain people, they're gonna like brush it off or like try to move on like nothing happened. But for certain people, they got so caught up in that stuff to where it's like now that stuff affects people on that daily. Like it's just like a rabbit hole of dark information. Like so, it just has people in like just a downward spiral on either side. Because you could just get too caught up in it to where it's like, damn, this is going on, this is going on. Now you have these rabbit holes and people down the rabbit hole. Like now they're gonna forever be attached to that stuff. For certain people, they're gonna try to avoid it. It's just like everything's just gonna be out of whack now. Like you can't just do that, bro, and expect nothing to happen. Like the dark web was literally to the open world in 2020.
Oh yeah, I was literally about to
It
get
was
on
like
that.
the
Nah.
dark web was basically like you didn't even have to get on it yourself. It was basically accessible to the
Oh
general public
yeah,
in 2020.
oh remember. Oh
Like you didn't see all
yeah.
that stuff that was look, bro, because
Oh
I
yeah.
remember
Oh
look,
yeah,
bro,
I
I
remember.
remember it firsthand because I
Yeah,
would
you
see
remember.
certain things that were like about like certain trafficking and what these
Oh
people do and like
yeah,
them doing stuff with children. Like
oh
it wasn't
yeah.
I didn't have to go on a deep web for it. It was like accessible on the internet.
Maybe it was the
Like people like
algorithm.
it was on the algorithm. It was like on your timeline, TikTok.
Oh
Like this
yeah,
stuff was like you can't just do that, bro. This is why they
bro.
forbid like the dark web and stuff like that. Why do you think they forbid like the dark web from the
Yeah,
general
like
public? And now it's accessible to the world. Cause I
yeah,
remember in 2020 me finding that stuff out and how it affected me. I'm like,
yeah.
damn, it can get you to the point where you don't even want to leave your house knowing that certain people in positions are doing this and your life can be on the line. The six twisted stuff that they do to children and this and adrenochrome. Like, bro, that's not even accessible to the general public for a reason. Why do you think that stuff is forbidden? Because they know how it affects you. It's like all that shit was in the forefront. You think
Oh,
that's not going to affect people's minds, affect people's psyche? But it's like, okay, let's move on. Regular schedule programming. The world's back open. Like, what? You don't think it's gonna be, bro? This world is not gonna be the same, bro. Like I said, you're gonna need healing. You're gonna need, bro. We need global healing, my nigga. Fuck your job. Fuck trying to flex. This is why I said like people don't want to address nothing that matters, bro. Like all this stuff is played out because it is. It's in fact played out. Like we need mental healing. We need physical therapy healing. We need, bro, all this other shit don't even matter, bro. That shit can affect you on multiple levels. Then on top of that, they got you in quarantine. Like so much shit happened. And people just want to go to regular scheduled programming, bro. Like how can you just force that? You're
yeah.
just overwriting it at that point. You're overwriting all the stuff that you just went through mentally, physically. Like, you can't just do that, bro. You can make
It's
that stuff
like,
accessible to the general public and even children. Like
oh yeah, like
youngins and all type of stuff knowing that information. It's all on the timeline, and it's like, okay, back to regular life. Well, it's never going to be the same, no matter how much people try to sweep it under the rug, no matter how much you try to override it and hide it, no matter how many distractions, bro. It's always going to be in your psyche. Like we know this shit ain't the same.
yeah,
That's why
like
I feel so forced nowadays with all this stuff. Like, bro, this is not the same, bro. We need some type of interference. Like, we need something. Like, people need help mentally, physically, spiritually, in every aspect. People need help. Can't just move along after that, bro.
that's crazy how I said that. It's crazy like how you said that. Like your memory's coming back online. Like you're remembering. Like I'm remembering what happened back in 2020. I kind of forgot. Now I'm thinking like what they was posting, like when what was being brought upon to us, especially the masses. I remember that the torrent browser was up. It was everybody was going on that the dark web. Even like it was crazy. Like like oh my god, bro. Like you don't even have to look for it. It was just on the algorithm. Unless people was like ignoring it, it was crazy. Like, oh my god, we was stuck inside. It's like trying to like get like an animal that been domesticated and thrown back to its environment. Like if you do that, it's gonna go crazy. It's not gonna survive because it's like, you know, the predicament is not used to that. It's not used to that predicament or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Especially its brain. So it's going to suffer, immensely. A lot of people that were programmed a certain way to live a certain way. Now that kind of been put on delay. If you bring that back upon, that's gonna become a cancer because they went so long without it, or the level of that was just not even in cohesion with them. So it's like they're just gonna go insane. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's why a lot of people are just dying. They're getting these illnesses, or like they're just crashing out because what happened years ago. It's just something deep within inside of them, whether they know it or not. Like you even see
They're
some
losing their sanity. They're going mentally insane.
you even see like some teachers complaining that the children don't listen. They don't know how to follow direction. They don't know how to read. They're disrespectful. Like you don't know what we just went through like years ago. We're just gonna forget about it and make them just go to school or do this. Like it's just weird how they try to put a bandage on this stuff when you can't. Like
Subconsciously, everybody's picking up on it. Even we're picking up on it. Like, everything is just feeling forced. It's like, bro, you can't just move past all of that. That's why I said, like, I don't even think if these artists were to drop the same stuff, it would hit the same. Like, nothing will ever be the same because it's just a different timeline, just all the stuff we went through and experienced.
It's not working.
Mm-hmm.
The TV's not working. The TV's not
This will never be the
working.
same.
I want nothing.
Like, something that was never supposed to happen just happened. Things that were never supposed to be accessible to the general public were accessible. It's like somebody who was higher up probably just like let the codes out.
Oh yeah, I remember like in
They
20.
probably just hit the like is they probably like just like let all whoever was like in one of those positions probably just like they weren't supposed to do something and they did it. Like, you're not supposed to let this out and they just did. Like, just a free for all, like, okay, boom. We're letting everything out. Like, it's a lot of stuff going on with higher reps, bro. Like, it was going down. Like,
Oh
people think I don't remember
yeah,
that. Like, a lot of people didn't, bro. Trust me, I remember all of that.
yeah, man. I've been trying to forget about that because like the dark, but it comes
So
back
when
to
I
me.
when I brought it up, like, you wasn't thinking that far into it when I brought it up or something.
And when I said about like the human trafficking, how I was talking about the human trafficking and that, and then you just
Now,
remind me of it.
yeah.
You
So you
remind me
wasn't
of
thinking that far into it. Like, you was just,
yeah. I was just adding on to the subject of the matter, but it's like it just got me thinking back to it. Especially
yeah,
like
bro.
the
Like,
human
I
trafficking.
remember all that. Like, this is why I be saying, like, I can't avoid that.
Oh yeah, like I
I
remember
remember
like
all of that.
yeah, I remember celebrities were coming out saying this and that. Like, oh, they're doing this, they're doing that. I remember Young and May, you know that female artist, she was saying they're doing this and that. Emily Chopper, he was like woke. I don't want to say their names, but it's like they were talking about things, and it's like they giving up on it. Like celebrities were even speaking up at that time. It's like some of like the rappers, and now they're not even doing anything. I feel like now the
They were
Matrix is
just
showing.
gimmicks.
Yeah, I feel like now the Matrix has shown itself how bigger they are. I think we are in a new timeline, but in this earth, it's kind of trapped. People's awareness have to be over themselves, or they're gonna have to wait probably the next lifetime, or they have to go somewhere like out of this like earth or whatever. Because this earth is just trapped. It's like a prison. We're gonna have to wait the next timeline, or wait till the walls open because there's just this energetic wall that's over us. The veil has to be lifted, like the walls,
Now,
like the
people
fuzzy
just would
veil.
have to like face reality at this point.
Yeah.
That's what it's gonna take. It's gonna. People don't want to do that because people don't want to do that though because it's just uncomfortable or they just want to avoid it. We're gonna have to do something deep, deep healing within, and it's gonna take a lot. You can't just bounce back from something like that and just go back into everyday life, bro. But yeah, during that time, that's what I was just noticing. And I'm
Oh
just like,
yeah,
nowadays,
like
that's why nowadays I'm just like, y'all really gonna avoid all of that? Because I just
yeah,
remember
like
everything during that time. Like, I remember the certain videos I seen that even hit me. Like, I remember how it even affected me in that moment. Like, I'm not one of those people who just forget, bro. Like, I remember all of that. I remember how it affected me. That stuff was no joke. That's
oh yeah, like I remember all of that. Like I be in a moment of things, but I'm like I just can't forget about what happened years ago. I can't just let that slide. Like I'll be in a moment, but then it would just kind of come back to me in my brain. Like remember what happened? Like why am I doing this? Like I know I'm tapping in, I'm doing whatever, but it's like what about the rest? Like what happened? Why is this world a certain way? Like why are people this? And it always takes me back to like back then and what happened because I'll just be in a moment. I'll go outside and I'll see how people are. And it always just has me thinking, like I'll feel triggered, not triggered, but like kind of weird of people's energies. And then I'll realize why. Like it'll just have me thinking like, okay, that's what it is. Like, oh, okay. Like it wasn't really like this. Like people are just trying to cover it. You'll ask people about it or about what happened years ago, how you felt. They'll just kind of ignore it or act like
Yeah, this
it
is
just.
why I appreciate you for joining the stream and like having these type of conversations, because I can't really talk like this with nobody else. 'Cause they'll try to avoid it, or they'll be like, they'll just try to act like oblivious. I be feeling like I'm the only one who's like seeing this stuff or speaking on it.
Oh, I remember. Oh my, it was haywire.
And that's the crazy part, that you probably wasn't even thinking about it. Like, so it just shows you. Cause just think about how you was before I mentioned it. Like you was just like, all right, I'm chilling or whatever you was doing. Then when I brought it up, you see how it probably, how did it affect you? Like you see how it affected you, like just remembering it.
Yeah, the trickling
So
down.
just,
I just trickled down. Like,
yeah, I even noticed it, like how you reacted. So just imagine like the general public, like they're on
oh yeah,
autopilot. I'm not saying that you were on autopilot, but just imagine like being in that general public shoes. Like they're not remembering that stuff. They're just like chilling. And just imagine how it hit you, like when I just said it. So imagine them remembering that stuff. It just shows you like how people aren't like suppressing it
it's my
or
heart
trying to
chakra.
avoid it. Because if you were to remember it, look how it even affected you personally just now. Like, damn.
Yeah, that's crazy. How this got us in the loop de loop. Like I remember they had the stimulus check back in that day. Some girl lady got arrested for it. Like she got arrested for doing a PPP fraud because I remember people were doing a fraud. I'm like, how did they know that they're? So that means it was watching you, like, because everybody done the PPP fraud. That's how people was going out, buying these cars, splurging because they were doing a PPP fraud back then in that day. I'm like, that means they're watching you. So it's like the Matrix was showing you how it's bigger than you. Like they're gonna find you. Like they have that eye open. Like this is weird. They really after everybody. Like I think these people, these higher people up, they're trying to bring as many people down to hell with them to not be in that time where they're trying to, because they can't sustain themselves in it. So they're trying to bring everybody down to the wayside, trying to
This is
stag.
this is why I said everything has been patched up, because like the codes were let out. You've seen everybody onto new consciousness, information, frequent. That's why I said like it feels like everything's been patched. Because once you get the cheat codes, you have to patch that video game. That's basically what happened.
Oh
It was
yeah.
unprecedented. We were in unprecedented times, like consciousness awakening, new information, age of information. It's like all the codes were let out. All the dark information was let out. Everything exposed. Once that happens, you have to go through a patching process. Like, oh, this game is, somebody cheated the game. The codes are out. Somebody got the cheat codes. We got to patch this. And that's what you're experiencing now. Like,
Yeah.
got to go through a rendering process.
Now they're getting the people who hacked it, like people who done certain things, hacked the CIA, done frauds. Now they're trying to get back to them. Like that's why like I'm lucky I didn't get myself into any trouble. Like I probably hacked the game on my brain mentally, but I didn't do the games like I didn't try to hack the system or do that because now they're trying to get everybody. I remember that person, that FTX guy. He stole he stole like 3 billion from like one of the companies, and some other girl like she stole $12 billion. Like now they're trying to get the people who hacked the system, especially the money, because it's crackable. A lot of people think the system can't be cracked, but it can. There's people who stole billions of dollars from the system or done this
Mhm.
or said certain things. They're trying to get these people now, and then
Hence
they're
the
going to try to
scamming
get you up.
epidemic.
Yeah.
Why do you think the scamming epidemic took off so crazy?
Mm-hmm.
All the codes are out, bro. Like this is unprecedented stuff happening. Stuff that you would see in a
Oh
movie.
yeah. Now it's like I remember they leaked the stuff for Chase, the Chase method. Did you hear about the Chase broad thing?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
okay.
I think this is why I said they hit the red button, shut everything down. You had to. This is why I said you think they was gonna let you do this and reach certain levels of consciousness. This is why I said, why do you think it happened around that time? You think it's just a coincidence? Oh, soon as everything starts being in the open, as soon as people wake up, now the world shuts down. You think that's just a coincidence? No, bro. Why would it happen at that exact
Yeah.
time? They had to shut it down, bro. They had to have a shutdown. And they had to scrub the internet. This is why a lot of people are no longer here. Channels gone, certain people gone. They had to do a
People I used to
cleanup.
like. It's like people like I even used to like see or hear information from them. They don't even talk about it, or they're onto other things. They
And it
want to talk
and it
about
even
it, but they
and it even happened on a physical level, not just the internet. Like, okay, we're gonna
yeah
scrub this person off. Like, no, even infiltrating people on a physical level, like drugging this and that.
yeah
People have been infiltrated. Like, you think they were just gonna let that go down? This is why certain people said like CIA was tapped in with people they known,
yo
like in cahoots and doing that. Like, yeah, this is real.
God, bruh. Why are we even here? Like, oh my God, bro. Like, it was too good to be true. Like,
They really thought stuff was sweet. Like, bro,
oh
this
my
is real
God.
life. Now you're infiltrated with these people. Like, yeah, we're not just gonna let you expose their stuff. Like, now you see these people either locked up or mentally gone, been drugged, this and that. Yeah, it's not. They're gonna patch that up. Like I said, it's gonna be patched. They gotta do a cleanup.
Bad, bro.
You
Oh
can't
my.
let this go on.
I remember 2019, like, it felt clear, like, butterflies, like, not even like just the energy now, like, it was just clear, like, we getting conscious, like, healthy, like, but now 2020 started getting dark and everything coming out. Like, we could be like we could be on the good side, we could be healthy, we could be all that. There's no easy, it's not hard doing that. But what about the dark information that they hide in us? We can't just let that slide. Like, nah, bro, it's gonna come back to bite us. As soon as we want to let everything out, now they want to try to attack us. It's like when you're trying to do what you got to do, and somebody's bothering you or they're doing whatever, you can't just ignore it. You have to attack them, or you have to let it out or report it. As soon as we all report it, it's not like we're going on a mass tirade and we're just hitting stuff. We're just like putting it out. No, it's a threat because they have a image, an agenda to fulfill, and they know that. Like, it's just crazy.
It's like you were able to reach heaven on earth, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're basically cheating the system. Like just consciously. That's what you was able to do. You was able to tap in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you think they're gonna allow that?
Hell.
And now you see why things are the way they are now. Like a lot of things have been blocked off, even on a metaphysical level.
Yeah, these people even hack the Astro World. Like, that's crazy. Like, how do you hack the Astro World? Like, what the hell? They even show it in you in the movies, like Avengers. Like, oh my god, bro, these people are crazy.
Like you was able to fully just tap in that moment and reach that state of oneness. I know people be like, "Oh, I'm not trying to reach this state." It's like, bro, it ain't the fact that I'm trying to hold on or like I just know what it was. Like people want to make it seem like that shit was just like I don't know. They try to avoid it so much or try to make it seem like you're just trying to hang on to something. Like no, bro, it's deeper. This is why I be saying like it's deeper than just nostalgia. People think that's all I'm talking about. Oh, you're just hanging on to the past. You just want a certain feeling. Like no, I know what it was. I'm not stupid. It's not that I'm just holding on to a feeling. I knew what it was. Like that state of oneness that we
Mhm.
speak on. I know what it was. People just be like, "Oh, that's just a
Yeah,
feeling." I'm just trying to be in the moment. Like, okay, but it's like, no, it's deeper than that. But a lot of, like I said, a lot of people want to act oblivious. Like, I'm just in the times. That's just from the past. I'm not searching for anything. I'm just in the moment. All right. But for me, I'm not going to forget. Like I know.
I feel like a lot of people, they might not be thinking like this. They're trying to get back to alignment. Like you're seeing videos of people saying that they're going celibate or they're chosen. It's kind of closer to this. It's close to what we could say, but that keeps them in a loop de loop, and things in their life happen over and over again, and it continues a vicious cycle. So it keeps them from that loop. So it doesn't really open them up. It keeps them in that same bracket. That's why it's all these spaces in these people's class, because they're stuck in a box. When something's in a box and it's trapped, you can't really, it suffocates. You know what I'm saying? They become angry, triggered. But back then, everybody was just free. But everybody's stuck in their own little box now. You know, they kind of getting close to it, but it's like it's a cap. But back then it was like no cap, it was out there. Like the cap was opening, like, hey bro, this is that, bro. Y'all see what this is? Y'all come see it, check it out. Now it's like, nah, like people are trying to, but it's like they can't, like their awareness, their mind, their environment. It's just a lot of things just going on right now that prohibits that, you know.
Hmm. People like to say, "Oh, you just holding on to the past." It's like, nah, bro. It's deeper than that shit.
Oh
That's what
yeah.
they want. That's what they want. Try to think. Oh, that's just the past. You're just hanging. No, bro. It's deeper than just. Oh, I'm trying to hang on to the past. It's like I just remember. I'm not stupid. I know certain things like from that time period. It's just man, like
That's crazy how they made us forget. Like that's these sicko. Oh my god. They literally sidetrack us. Like everybody was moving right. I was about to move right. I was gonna do this and that. Like they got us sidetracked like out of our own pants. Like now we're running like with nothing on. Like what the hell? Like how did they even get us out of our square? Like that's just crazy. Like now, like I'm surprised that I'm at this level of awareness because there's so much blockages now. The food is weird. The people are weird, and it's like I'm surprised. Like I think it was a crackling of the shell, like in my brain, like it has to see this, like you know.
yeah, a lot of people just fell off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I just stayed on this path because it's just who I am. Like this ain't a gimmick for me or none of that. So I don't really know what it is, but these other people just got I don't know sidetracked or this and that. It's like all this stuff just disrupted everything. That bad design. Because everything was just too good to be true. Like there's gonna be polarity that comes into play with that. You think you're just gonna reach the highest state of enlightenment and but that's gonna come with something. If people wasn't prepared for that, they think like I said, they thought just knowing it was enough. Oh, I just know. Like, bro, you gotta put in action. You gotta fight behind that. That's gonna come with war. That's gonna come with conflict. You think you're just going nah. That's what people thought. They thought this shit was a gimmick or a joke. Like, nah, bro.
Yeah, like I think people didn't see the other side. I feel like people should have been realistic because everybody was only talking about the good side back in the day. They wasn't talking about the totality